Last Friday, the Blaze reported on a growing list of gun manufacturers and retailers that had stopped selling to law enforcement in states that were enacting stringent new gun laws. Since that initial report on the Blaze, more have joined. None of the big three, Glock, SIG, or Smith & Wesson providers, have stepped up and joined the company, the list of companies who have chosen to make a public stand on the issue. In less than 2 weeks, at least 18 companies now have made the decision to stop selling to law enforcement in states that limit a private citizen's right to own a gun. They say that they are not going to provide anything to a state where those weapons will be used against the citizens to possibly take guns and gun rights away. So far, Olympic Arms, LaRue Tactical, which is great, here in Texas, EFI, Extreme Firepower, York Arms, Templar Custom, Cheaper Than Dirt, which I am proud to say. One of the arms manufacturer, Armalite, they are in trouble now because they're, I don't know who it was. I think it was their sales rep, Pat Rayleigh. He was getting a lot of emails, and he sent out an email himself, and it said, "Dear concerned gun owner," this is from Armalite. "First of all, I'd like to say thank you for filling my email with all this spam. Second, I'm not sure where you got this blanket email from, and you then send it out as spam, but stop it. Third, the manufacturer is not the one you need to convince. You need to convince the law enforcement agencies and the common people about their mistake in electing these officials and have them removed. Again, don't blame the manufacturer. AR stands for Armalite. Respectfully, Pat Rayleigh." Well, apparently that didn't sit well with a lot of people, and Armalite has come out and they have apologized. They said, "My purpose here is to pass on Rayleigh's apology from the corporate level and to answer the initial question, what is Armalite going to do? Armalite is going to continue a policy put in place when California first banned our rifles. That policy remains. We will not sell to those states which deny its honorable citizens the right to own Armalites." That statement seems clear. However, they went on and said, "We're not going to halt the sales to individual officers, even in those states." So they will sell them to the individual police officers. Even if they're the state is saying, well, that's the problem. The police officers are, I mean, what do you think, the governor, besides Arnold Schwarzenegger, you think the governor is going to be the one that's going to go door to door?
And that's pretty big, too, because Armalite is the AR in AR-15. That's the company. They're the ones that produce these guns. So
we're not really sure what Armalite is, where they stand, but now here's some joining the expanded group, new on the Blaze. Bullwater Enterprises, West Fork Armory, Smith Enterprises, Alex Arms, Spikes Tacticals, Quality Arms, Liberty Suppressors, Double Star Corporation, American Spirit Arms, Trident Armory, Head Down Products, and J&G Sales. Those are the companies that are now saying they're adding their name to the list, and they will not sell to any state because they're not going to arm people who want to disarm their population. I had this sheriffs on. I had 4 sheriffs on. And you know the guy from Wisconsin, do you remember him? The black guy from Wisconsin, the sheriff that made that ad, and he said, I need you in the game. Do you remember that ad? He was here last night. Really impressive guy. Along with 2 guys from Oregon and another guy from Missouri. And they were all really fascinating. You can watch it on The Blaze from last night's TV show at 5 o'clock. But it is my impression that they are very, very concerned of where this is headed. All of them, I believe all of them said that they felt confiscation was in the cards, and they won't be a part of it. And the guy who is from Wisconsin, the sheriff from Wisconsin, he's a Democrat. He's a Democrat. And he's been elected in, not Madison, but what's the other one in Wisconsin? The other, Milwaukee.
Milwaukee. Mm-hmm.
He was from Milwaukee. I mean, he's not in friendly territory to take this on. And they are all becoming, they're all getting hammered for their stance. All of them are getting hammered. And it's important that you stand with, I think there's 493 or 483 sheriffs all around the country who have signed on and said, we protect and defend the Constitution of the United States, and we will not confiscate. And it's really important that you understand your sheriff is not your local police. Your sheriff answers directly to the people. The only one that can form a militia in a state is a sheriff and a governor. They do not answer to the police. They answer to the Constitution and you. And even the feds recognize that. And that's why these sheriffs are going to be in so much trouble. These guys are really marked. Because if you're a sheriff, they're going to do everything they can to destroy these guys. And I said to them, I said, all of them are getting tremendous heat. And I said, you guys, that you're entering now Chernobyl. And I think everybody needs to recognize this, that you're entering a time in American politics that we all have to do our part and understand that it's Chernobyl. They are going to poison everyone against you. They will destroy you in the end. They will destroy your credibility, most likely your career, and there are going to be a ton of us that are off on the wayside, and you got nothing left. But I want you to know, if there's someone behind us, if we know someone is behind us, we can go in for our 25 seconds, and we can turn it one way before the radiation gets too much, as long as we know there's other Liberty firemen behind us that will go in and turn it another half-quarter turn. That's the way we have to view this. I really, truly believe that we need to know that there are others that will continue to stand, because what they will do is they will send a message. Look, if I'm going to confiscate weapons, I'm going to first try to do it like they did in Great Britain. What they did in Great Britain was just take away piece by piece, gun by gun. And then the last time, they had nothing left but handguns. And then what happened? And then there was a shootout. A guy had 2 revolvers and 2 semi-automatic guns. And he went in, he shot a bunch of people, and the guns were gone. There was nothing left to take. All they had to do is they only had the revolvers and the handguns. And one guy shot some people with a handgun, and it was done. That's the way I would do it. But Britain didn't have the Second Amendment. So Britain didn't have this standoff that we have. And there are peaceful ways out of this. But they're going to do what they have to do is they have to target people. I mean, why do you think, quite honestly, why do you think the president was not at Chris Kyle's funeral? You do not want to make these guys into bigger heroes. Why do you think these guys, for the first time, are being exposed by this administration? Because these guys know. They know the deal, and they know freedom. And these guys are not going to give up their weapons. They're not. You think Navy SEALs are going to give up their weapons when they come back home? You think they're going to allow this? They have to be destroyed. They have to be discredited. They have to die. Because if you would play this scenario out, the strong will say you're not getting it. And then the government has to make an example of those strong to scare the weak. If they can do that to those guys, I don't stand a chance. And then the weak turn everything in. That's why you are seeing such a discrediting. That's why you're seeing this post-traumatic stress being such a big deal. That's why they're categorizing it as a mental disorder. You've got to discredit them. You've got to get their guns away from them because they're the strongest among us. one person at a time. What is your 12-second job? If it's violent, I urge you to go back and look and say, that's not my 12-second job. What's your 12-second job? Who are you in line to follow? What hero do you stand behind? What individual who's taking the blows over and over and over again will you stand behind and say, when they're done, I stand up? Because that's what we need. We need people with the strength to carry on for as long as they can, and when they go down, somebody else stands up. Are you in line? Or if you're in the front of the line, find somebody who will be willing to stand behind you and take the blows as long as you can.